Benjamin Franklin said that an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. And I think when you realize that, life will never be the same. See, the mindset that I grew up with is I'm going to go to college and get my education. But in reality, college isn't your education. It could be a small part of it, but at the very best, it's where your education begins. And I think it's no coincidence that a lot of really successful people are learning machines. They read all the time, which is crazy when you think about it. They're already among the world's most successful people, and they're still learning at a faster rate than most other people. It's like Donald Trump, who reads 3 hours every morning, or Warren Buffett, who supposedly reads 8 hours a day, or even Bill Gates, who spends a week every year where all he does is go in a room and read. I also love a couple things Henry Ford said. He said, anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning is young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. Or he said, if money is your hope for independence, you will never have it. The only real security that a man will have in this world is a reserve of knowledge, experience, and ability. Consider what Seneca said. Only those who make time for philosophy are really alive, because they add all the years that have passed before them to their own. He says, unless we are very ungrateful, all those amazing people that have come before us were born for us and prepared for us a way of life. By the hard work and the amazing thoughts of those people, we are led into the presence of things which have been brought from darkness into light. He says we can argue with Socrates, cultivate retirement with Epicurus, overcome human nature with the Stoics, and exceed its limits with the Cynics. He asks, why not give ourselves wholeheartedly to the past, which can be shared with better men than we? He says that you can have Pythagoras, Democritus, Aristotle, all these amazing people as your closest friends. None of them are too busy to see you. None of them will not send you away happier and more devoted to yourself. None of them will allow you to leave empty-handed. They are at home to you by night and day. Now remember, this was written 2,000 years ago, and there are a lot of amazing people that you can learn from that have come since then as well. But I really love that. How ungrateful do we really have to be to not spend time every day with amazing people that have come before us and that have blazed a path for us to follow? People who have figured out all the things we want to know about life and who can share it with us. Seneca said that only those who devote themselves to philosophy are really alive, which really means only those who are always learning and reading books from some of the world's smartest people are really living. Now, obviously, reading is something I'm very passionate about. I've made a couple courses on it, one on going through nonfiction books to extract information, and another one on speed reading. I 100% believe in both of those, but what really is the most important thing before figuring out how to read really quickly is whether you read in the first place. Because if you know how to read quickly but you don't read, you're no better off than someone who's the fastest reader in the world but also doesn't read. I actually think Mark Twain said something like that, where the man who doesn't read is no better off than the man who can't read. So what I encourage you to do is set up a reading ritual. What that means is every day at a certain time, whether it's after breakfast or as soon as you get up or after lunch or when you get home from work, whenever it is, set up a ritual where for a certain amount of time you will be reading. And no, not just reading fiction books or articles, but read things that will really help you move toward your calling and your dreams. I think if you do this, your life will never be the same. And by the way, if you want to check out either of my courses on reading, totally up to you. Again, I think the most important thing you can do is read in the first place, which is what I'm really encouraging you to do here. But if you want to check either of those out, I'll include a coupon link for both of those in the resources section of this video so you can get those at a special price as a student of this course.